Chery Philippines has had a hell of a 2021, posting sales figure records that the brand has never seen before, thanks in part to the Chery Tiggo 2, which we reviewed earlier this year. Now, Chery Philippines has this follow-up in the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, and I think this might just be their next winner. What's going on, guys? Roy Robles here from Zigwheels.Ph, and today we'll be taking a closer look and a drive of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. Now, it's a fact that Chery Philippines' success relies on the Chery Tiggo 2, and I think it's bold of them to mix with a tried and tested formula with a Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. But check this out, I think most of the improvements that they put on the 2 Pro is definitely worth it. You got your signature grille right here, and if you kind of look at it funny in certain directions, they kind of look like a fleet of stormtroopers coming your way, and I really like that design. You got this huge Chery badge right here. Now look at this, it's got LED daytime running lamps, and one quirk that I see here is that on top of those daytime running lamps, you got this interesting reflector-like design that you might think actually lights up, but doesn't. They're just there for garnish. But what really makes up for it are the headlamps down here. That's right, the headlamps are on the bottom part of the bumper and not on the top part where you got it traditionally. It's got these nice, sick carbon fiber inserts that really accentuate this projector headlamps. Those headlamps, by the way, they're halogen headlamps. Gives it a more interesting look, especially at night. These white DRLs paired with the yellow halogen headlamps, I love it. Overall, this is the biggest change that we'll see on the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, and I think you can definitely take a second look to make sure that you love it. Now you've got more of that crossover look, that crossover SUV look at the side profile. Check this out, you've got your mandatory black plastic cladding, but up front, you got your decorative front air vents. Those air vents don't go anywhere, but at least it completes the look. A lot of people also like those two-tone 16-inch alloy wheels, and yeah, you know how I feel about two-tone alloy wheels, but a lot of people love them. I've been getting a lot of comments for it. And yeah, it definitely completes the overall look. Now, crossovers. Crossovers definitely have those short rear overhangs that people really love, and I actually like it. Now, those wraparound tail lamps wrap around more to the side to give it a more macho and rugged appeal. You got your rear spoiler right here as well. We'll check that out later on. But one thing that you want to check out is, for this price, I'll tell you the price later on, you got functional roof rails up top. Most roof rails in this price segment actually just pretend that they have roof rails, but this one's right here, you can actually put something on top right there. You got your nice chrome strip there. Not much drama on the side profile. It's just nice, tasteful design details that I really love. Now in the rear, well, if you've seen the Chery Tiggo 2 review that we had before, you've noticed that it's pretty much looking the same, but something seems a bit off. Same, but different. I mean, check this out. Instead of a chrome garnish in the rear, they've actually blacked that out, giving it a more, again, rugged, more masculine look to this small proportions. You've got your huge third brake lamp up here, that's LED. You got your rear wiper, of course, but the thing that you can find odd here is this rear bumper assembly. The rear bumper is definitely different from the previous Chery Tiggo 2, and I like how this rear diffuser looks. It has this nice aluminum looking here, although that's just plastic, but check this out. You'd think that it has dual exhaust, but no, those are just blacked out parts right there. It just gives it a more executive, a more sporty feel, but actually it only has one exhaust pipe. It's found right underneath. You also have nice LED tail lamps right here with a distinct design. It's C-shaped. It's C for Chery. Check out that rear hatch. That's why you buy crossovers, for the space. You got 420 liters of space here that can definitely fit this huge box, all my bags, my camera equipment. But if you need more space, you can just fold those seats down. They don't fold entirely flat, but at least you have more space for taller items. Alright, so inside the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, you've noticed that the gauges are actually changed from those quirky looking dials from before into these more traditional amber looking ones. You also have these the amber theme continuing onto the AC cluster, and an 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system. Now that touchscreen infotainment system has Apple CarPlay. Unfortunately, you don't have Android Auto, but you have the next best thing, which is QD Link, which actually mirrors your Android phone into the screen, which is pretty nifty, I gotta admit. The entire dashboard is actually tilted towards the driver, so it's a more driver-centric console right here. You also have a leather-wrapped steering wheel with all your controls. One quirk that I find here is that the cruise control button and the media button are actually inverted. For me, most cars would have the cruise control buttons right here on the right side and the media buttons on the left, but they have it the other way around. You have these nice carbon fiber inserts on the door panels and the dashboard. And the biggest change that I really appreciate here is, of course, the center armrest. The previous Tiggo 2 does not have a center armrest, and I'm glad to find it here on the Tiggo 2 Pro. Everything is, it's pretty cozy inside here. It's not the most spacious interior that I've been in, but I'm pretty comfortable. The seats are pretty stiff for my liking, but they're nice and supportive. You know what, that's enough of the front. Let's check out the rear. So here the passenger seat of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. I gotta say, it's not my favorite space to sit in, especially with this particular setting. So there's enough headroom for me. There's not enough room for my feet though, but there is enough for my knees. I see myself riding here just for a few hours or so, but I won't be comfortable to be sure. It doesn't have any center armrests as such, or any USB ports, or even air conditioning vents, but at least it's fine. But for my height, 5'10" and a half, I don't see myself being here for an extended period of time. Let's go ahead and take us for a drive and see how it works. Before we head out to our drive, I want to discuss the safety features of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. The safety features include your standard dual airbags up front. You got ABS with the electronic brake force distribution. By the way, you got 4 disc brakes all around, which is rare at this price point. You also have a backup camera and rear parking sensors. You also have stability control. Of course, you've got seat belts and ISOFIX anchors. That's a lot of features, a lot of safety features for the price. Speaking of price, the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro can be had for just 818,000 pesos. That's right, 818,000 pesos gets you a subcompact crossover with all the power, all the features that you want and need. Considering that the original Chery Tiggo 2 tops up at 785,000 pesos, the 818,000 pesos price increase of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is definitely worth the price tag. So now we are behind the wheel of the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, and I gotta say, compared to the previous Chery Tiggo 2, which, to be honest, I didn't really love it. Relative to the price, I guess it was okay, but it's definitely not gonna excite you in any way. But for the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro, at least there are some improvements that I definitely noticed. For example, that engine. The engine is still the same one as before, but they were able to massage a couple of more horsepower. So that's 2. So that's the bare minimum to call it a couple. So that's a couple of more horsepower, 106 horsepower, and it can now give you 130 Newton meters of torque. But the previous Chery Tiggo 2 was powered by a automatic transmission. Now, I've never been more thankful to have a CVT than the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. This time it's powered by a CVT. It has 9 simulated speeds, 9 simulated forward gears, and I have to say the ride is much smoother than the previous one because of that switch in transmission. So power is just all right. 106 horsepower and 130 Newton meters torque. It's definitely not a lot. And yeah, it definitely shows it. But why do you buy a crossover in the first place? Is it because of its blistering speed? I think not. And it's just right. And thanks to that transmission, thanks to the CVT, at least now it's a bit bearable for me. And I actually see myself wanting to drive this than the previous one, which felt really ancient. So you've got McPherson struts up front and a torsion rear beam suspension in the rear. So it's all right. So NVH levels are certainly, well, they're not the best, to say, and you hear a lot of engine noise coming from the front end. I think it comes from the transmission. It gives you this kind of drony, boomy sound, especially when you're up in the rev range. But again, unlike the previous Chery Tiggo 2, it's all right. It's not, like I say, it doesn't sound like a car that comes from straight out of the 90s. Steering is on the heavy side, and that's because this has a hydraulic power steering. Unlike most cars these days, they've got electronic power steering where it makes it light, almost numb to drive. I actually prefer hydraulic power steering over electronic because it gives you a lot more road feel. You're more connected to the road instead of like driving it doesn't feel like you're in a video game. Handling gives you a little bit of body roll but that's because of the 186 millimeter high ride height. But it's definitely not bad. You can just definitely hear that booming sound from the transmission. I mean, of course, it's a new car, but just put a little tap on the brake right here. See, and you can definitely, it's easy to modulate. Anyway, fuel economy. Now, the best part about having a CVT transmission, like I said, I've never been so thankful to have a CVT. The best part of having a CVT is that it actually helps out with fuel economy. Fuel economy on the city for the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is around 10 kilometers per liter in the city. And that's with all the restrictions being lifted, traffic's getting worse, especially the holidays. 10 kilometers per liter in the city is phenomenal for a crossover SUV. And once you hit the highway, it's possible to get around 16 kilometers per liter on the highway. So that's right, CVT for the win, guys. Especially for cars that aren't tuned for performance, or it's not meant to be performance cars, CVT is the way to go. Chery Tiggo 2 Pro offers you all the looks, all the functionality, and the experience of driving a crossover SUV for a fraction of the price of those leading brands. And with its 10-year engine warranty, 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, 3-year free PMS, and 3-year roadside assistance, that's definitely hard to beat. That's how much confidence Chery Philippines gives to their vehicles, including the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro. Can't beat that warranty, guys. In the tech world, the Pro moniker usually means bigger, faster, and better, and that's what the Chery Tiggo 2 Pro is. Chery Philippines definitely doesn't want to rest on their own laurels by just releasing the Chery Tiggo 2. Instead, they gave us this Pro model to show us exactly what they're flexing. What do you think? Leave us a comment in the comment section down below, and while you're at it, please subscribe to our channel and hit that notification icon so that you're alerted whenever we upload a new video. Once again, this is Roy Robles and Zigwheels.Ph, and I'll see you guys next time.